what are the main marketing channels that you have in your business? I don't think we
So
talked about that.
yeah, I can share with you one of the the cost per deal or cost per lead prior to like the end of this year was extremely low. I don't have that number in front of me, but a lot of our leads came from texting. And so when I look at my KPIs, 2022, we had more than double the leads than we did this year, but obviously we made a lot more money this year. But texting died for us. And I kept it going probably far too long. Probably 5 or 6 months longer than I should have. I wanted it to work, so I kept buying new data. We kept trying and failing. So our leads just kept dropping significantly. And so I decided to kill texting like maybe a month and a half or 2 months ago. So for me personally, I am the type of business that I'm in this for the long term. So like I spend a lot of money on SEO. Like we're starting another company to do SEO to try to take up 2 spots in Google. I started PPC. We do some YouTube marketing. Plan on probably doing some commercials, not ran on television, but running them on YouTube. And the biggest expense for me this year was direct mail. So our direct mail budget I haven't really dialed that number in, only because I want to make sure our processes are dialed in first before we overload the system with leads, because that's the problem with too many leads. You just want to go for the yes instead of working to get through the no's to get to a yes. And that's kind of one of the problems we're experiencing now. But we're going to be sending out minimally 2,000 cards a week. That can go up to 3,500 postcards per week. So that 3,500 cards per week is somewhere around, I think 120,000 would be our spend for there. PPC is about $25,000 or $30,000 a year, and I'm probably spending somewhere around $20,000 for the website in SEO. So those are our main channels: SEO, PPC, direct mail, and we do buy some of our leads as well from other channels that
pay per lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then where are you getting your data? Like what list are you targeting for direct mail?
So in my market, what I found is I don't do well with landlords. I don't know what it is about Rochester, but landlords can put their house on the market and always, for the most part, get the number that they want if they wait. And then typically, they're selling a dump for retail. And we tried targeting them. So basically our main demographic is owner-occupants who have owned the home or have equity.
So like 5 years or longer with 30% more equity, like pretty straight list. Yeah.
Yep. And you guys, I don't know if you haven't heard of this list, but like people that unintentionally become landlords. So there's some lists that you can filter based on like years of ownership or equity, but as someone who owns 3 properties or less. You can niche that down to some individual who owns 2 properties or less. That's someone who moved. Usually they rent their home to friends or family. Friends or family take advantage of them. So it seems like a very small demographic. And then we've had 50 plus years of age are typically just getting rid of a property they own or getting rid of that rental that they had family in for X amount of years.
Yeah, I know Ryan Dorsey talks about that list a lot. I don't know what he calls it, but there are people that have 3 properties or less. They're accidental landlords. Yeah, I like that list. All right. So that your budget this year is to do about 200 to 220,000 in marketing. And do you have like a minimum, return that you're looking, like revenue number?
Our goal is to do about 120,000 a month. That's our goal this year. So that's about 2.5. It's about 5.5 contracts closed a month.
5.5.
And that would
it's about almost 1.5 million. So like roughly doubling your number from last year. Yeah. So which makes sense because like as you kill texting, your cost per lead, cost per deal are going to go up more. That's what we're like talking to other larger companies that are using recently. Like it just seems like that's kind of the direction a lot of investors are moving in. It's like direct mail, going heavily in direct mail and inbound marketing, kind of similar to what you're doing, PPC, SEO. That's kind of where they're spending more of their money on versus like moving away from like texting and to some extent cold calling.
And I don't know what it is here. Like when I talk to vendors for PPC or SEO, I mean, they never oversell me on those services, but like I'm ranked like number 1 on SEO in like almost every search keyword, but we might get like 5 leads a month. Like if we get 10 leads a month on SEO, that's like a huge win for us. So SEO and PPC don't produce they don't produce a lot of leads for us. So losing that texting was like, that was a
Right.
huge, like it was either direct mail was going to work, or I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what
Right.
we're doing for next year. And we're only grossing, our goal per month is to gross somewhere around, so I have about 130 leads a month, which is about, let's just say 1,600 leads per year.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that sounds like, based on the budget that you have, that sounds pretty reasonable. It's going to be interesting as, like, real estate investor market as a whole kind of shifts away from uh, texting and then goes more into direct mail. It'll be, or other inbound marketing channels. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes.
I'm excited because especially with the 10DLC registration, and it seems like it's going to be a lot more difficult for people to get started, which
That it's, when you think about it, like, it's such a good thing for serious investors. Like, imagine what used to happen previously was, you could just, like, a new investor could watch a YouTube video of someone talking about how easy it is to wholesale. They would just go to PropStream, get a list, skip trace, start texting, like, all within 30 minutes to an hour of just watching the video. You can't do that anymore. Like, you got to go through the whole A to B 10 DLC registration. You have to have a legit business. You have to have a website, EIN, which creates friction, which creates barrier for, like, newer investors who are not serious. But it creates such a huge advantage for investors that are serious about their business, because they've invested money into having a company set up, having a website, and doing it the right way. So I think it's going to be great for more experienced, seasoned investor, or people that are serious about the business. I think it's going to be great for them, people that are investing in their business rather than just trying to get a quick deal out of it.
And one thing that for you guys listening, I think this is a great opportunity to, like, it's hard for me because I can't get involved in my local RIA because I'm out of the country half the year. And I actually used to have a podcast, and I mean, I couldn't operate the podcast with the changes in our business, but if you have channels, one marketing channel should be JVs. So, like, if you have all these people flooding your market looking to get started, how can you take advantage of them? Well, not take advantage of them, but take advantage of it's an opportunity to help them get started the right way. And ultimately that could be a source for you to generate leads, because it does cost a lot of money to get started in this business. And what this reminds me of, I watched this video on Instagram the other day, and this guy said, forget about being an entrepreneur, get into sales. I think if I had to do this all over again, if I had to start from scratch, I probably wouldn't went to college. I would have gotten into sales. And the reason I'm sharing that with you, because that's a message that I would share to the people who wanted JV deals with me. Forget about starting your own business. Do you want to know how much a business costs to operate and how much stress comes to play? Like, my AM, I'm only, if we hit our goal this year, I'm making about $120,000 more than my aim. That's not a lot it's a lot of money, but it's not. So he's almost making just as much money as me, and I set my business up that way because I want him to be successful and I want him to make a lot of money. But you could be coaching people into acquisition roles or lead generation roles, and they could make really good money doing that for you, and you can just build up partnerships that way.